Wednesday Holistic Happy Hour Week 3. Today we're going to talk about the frequencies of foods. So my favorite, who doesn't love food? Yum! So if you're joining me for the first time, hi. For those of you who don't know, I'm the author of Let Me Break It Down For You. And I have a bunch of information about frequencies and what they do to our bodies. So because we are frequency beings, right? If we are frequency beings, then we have to be mindful of the frequencies that we put into our body. So foods are a big part of those because we have to eat every single day. So, hello everyone that's tuning in. Thank you for watching. We're talking about frequencies of foods today. And I got all the information as I was doing research for my book. So all of my information is science-based. I also have a background. I was not a certified nutritionist, but I was a personal trainer for a good 15 years, and nutrition was a big part of that. So I made sure to keep in on foods and how they affect our body. I have a chapter in my book called Foods and Moods. As you know, foods affect our moods and how we function. They affect our energy levels. So why is that so? Well, it's because of the frequencies that they have. So because we are an energy being, we have to pay mind to all of the energies that we allow in our surroundings. The first week we talked about being an energy being. Last week we talked about our thoughts having frequencies. And this week we are going to talk about foods having frequencies. So before I get into that, I want to read a little bit, just a little quick excerpt from the book. So here's a picture of foods, so you can see yummy foods here, bad foods here, right? Processed foods, canned foods, microwave foods. We know these things are bad for us, but really, why are they bad for us? Well, we're going to go through a little of that information today. So, frequencies of foods. Well, and I want to welcome you to my garden. I thought it would be appropriate to do this Facebook Live on foods in the garden. We have wonderful vegetables growing everywhere. We've got some beans, we've got some artichokes, we've got all of our herbs back there. And the reason I want to mention herbs is because fresh herbs, actually have the highest frequency. With the exception of essential oils, I mean, they are sometimes ingestible depending on which brand you buy. But as far as like an actual food, herbs have the actual highest frequency. So get those fresh herbs. You know, it's really easy to grow them on your windowsill. But, you know, put some fresh basil, cilantro, parsley, any type of herb, you know, add those to your meals because that'll really increase the vibration of your food. So something little simple as a fresh herb, and they're delicious. Okay, so the frequencies of foods. Fresh foods have a range of 20 to 27 hertz. That includes fresh herbs. Dried foods, herbs are 15 to 22. According to mindbodygreen.com, a list of the highest vibrational foods are as follows. Fruits, fresh organic fruits and vegetables, pure clean water or filtered water, reverse osmosis, or freshly collected spring water are the best choices. Natural supplements like spirulina, herbal teas, herbs and spices, oops, lost my spot, raw nuts and seeds, coconut, raw oils like extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, sea vegetation, raw honey and maple syrup, fermented foods, sprouted foods, raw chocolate, legumes and grains such as buckwheat, brown rice, amaranth, and spelt. So those are the higher vibrational foods. I haven't talked about the pineal gland, but when our pineal gland is calcified, it interrupts a whole bunch of stuff that we need to happen in our body. So certain foods do help decalcify the pineal glands. These foods are garlic, raw chocolate, and raw apple cider vinegar. So there's so much more behind all of this information, but what I want to tell you is also the low to no vibrational foods. There are foods out there that literally have a frequency of 0. So I'm sure some of you might have an idea of what those are, but processed foods, packaged foods, frozen foods, and microwave foods have a frequency of 0. So Yes, let's talk about that. Some other low to no vibrational foods, and I'm sorry guys, you may not like what you're gonna hear, but you know what, we have the power of what goes in our body, so I just want you to have the science behind food and why we need high vibrational foods to enter our system. So, some other low to no vibrational foods are genetically modified foods and conventional food that has been treated with chemicals and pesticides. So I had said earlier that fruits and vegetables have one of the higher frequencies, but if they're not organic and they have pesticides on them, we've just cut down their whole entire vibration, because chemicals are harmful for our body and they do not want to be in there. Other low to no vibrational foods are, we got a helicopter, meat, fish, poultry, white rice, flours, sugar, coffee, soda, alcohol, processed meats, fast food, unhealthy oils like canola oil, cottonseed, margarine, and vegetable oils, frozen foods, pasteurized dairy products, overcooked foods, and deep-fried foods. These foods are not in their natural state and do not benefit the frequency of our body. So remember, frequency in has to do with the health of our body. So if we're not surrounding ourselves with higher frequencies, that's how we get sick. So it's not just like, oh, I'm eating, processed foods, so it's bad for me. You're actually eating nothing. You're eating dead stuff that is attributing to nothing to do with your health. So the only thing it's attributing to is the decline of your health. But we know this. We know this, but we do it anyway, right? Why do we do it? Well, let's find out. Let's find out about the ever so popular sugar. Does anybody out there know what sugar does to the brain? Well, some of you may be right and some of you will be surprised. Okay, so here we go. Sugar sets off the same receptors in our brain as cocaine. Yes, maybe that's why it's so addicting. Maybe that's why it's so satisfying. So this is the science behind that. The neurotransmitters that it sets off when we have sugar and cocaine is called dopamine, right? If you've ever been around a person on cocaine or sugar, you know that when they come down, they're going to be really moody. Why? Because their dopamine went from here to here. And what is dopamine responsible for? Well, dopamine is responsible for our motivation, and when it's chemically triggered, its natural levels are greatly depleted. Lack of dopamine produces self-doubt, procrastination, and lack of enthusiasm. Sugar is not only horrible for our health, but it greatly affects our mood in a terrible way. It has been linked to so many health issues, including ADD and ADHD. So parents out there, or if you're a parent or an adult has told you have ADD or ADHD, or your child has ADD or ADHD, cut out the sugar. Cut out the sugars, the processed sugars, and the processed foods, and I guarantee you, and I'm not just saying this, I've seen the science behind it, those symptoms will subside. Because what is happening is triggering their brain, become extremely hyperactive, and then they lose motivation because they come down from that crash of dopamine. So they don't have enough dopamine to stay motivated or focused. And all sugar does is absorb, the use of the dopamine. So all of our dopamine is getting used for sugar. Okay, I know cookies are great, cake, ice cream, whatever your preference is, but being healthy and motivated is pretty great too. So that's just my choice. That's what I prefer. I gave up sugar a long time ago. What sugar also does is it spikes our adrenals and makes them work hard in overdrive and puts us in higher risk of suffering from adrenal fatigue. So if you've heard the term adrenal fatigue, well, sugar is a big contributor to that. Another thing I want to talk about is, before I get into some really, really horrifying information about some of the chemicals that are in our foods and what they're doing to us. I mean, this is just devastating for me. It's devastating to me that we have the FDA, right, that's in place of trying to make sure that the foods that go on shelves are going to be healthy for us. Well, not only are they not healthy for us, but they're literally shutting down people's brains, causing so many illnesses. I'll get to that in a second. But the next thing that I wanted to talk about is wheat. Okay, so what's this big craze with gluten intolerance? What do you think that is? I mean, we're not all celiac, right? So why do people have a gluten intolerance? Well, here's the research, and this has also been scientifically studied and proven. And the reason that it raised kind of a reason to study is because people who thought they were celiac and thought that they had a gluten sensitivity would actually go somewhere like Europe and be able to eat all the pasta and all the pastries as they wanted to, and they weren't having any reactions. Well, why is that? Well, it has to do with the way that the United States crops their wheat. 97%. Yes, 97% of the wheat cropped in the United States is soaked, all the soil is soaked in pesticides before they even plant the seeds and before they even harvest the crop. There's nothing but pesticides on there. So the reaction that we're actually having to gluten is from the pesticides. It's not from the gluten itself. Because I can have organic pasta from Italy and I don't get any reactions whatsoever, because Europe banned a lot of the chemicals that the United States allows in the foods. And that is another section that I want to go over today, because it's so important that we know this, guys. It's really, really, really scary. Like, really scary. This is no joke. Like, this information could literally save your life. So foods do affect our moods in a frequency sense, right? Because low frequencies, low feelings, sadness, depression, lack of motivation, lack of self-worth, that all comes from your foods. Not all, but a lot of it is attributed to your foods. Foods are energy, right? Calories, if you travel to other countries and you look at the word calories, it's actually called energy. Hi, you can leave that on the front. Thank you. Amazon. Hi, Amazon. You can actually, foods are actually called energy. Calories are called energy. So when you have energy, low energy from your foods, you're going to have low energy in your life. So here is what happens. Many unnatural food additives designed in labs shut down receptacles in our brain and cause many other health concerns. Maybe not on purpose, but that's what they do. The fact that they make these chemicals in labs and they put them in our foods. I'm going to talk about the banned chemicals in all of the other countries and their dangers. So for those that are just joining, hi guys, we're at the garden. There's Artichoke. You want to see the cutest little thing? Look at this. Look at that little guy. Hello, little Artichoke. Isn't he cute? Artichoke. Okay. I love food so much. Yeah, so grow your own food if you can. Make sure it's organic. So what I'm talking about is the chemicals in foods. Okay? The foods that are literally, that they're allowing, the FDA, this government agency, allowing into our food supply. I want you to listen carefully to all these banned foods. These are banned. Hi, Sunny. These are banned in other countries. Almost every other country. Actually, 100 countries. I don't know how many countries there are. I think there's like 256. But the other countries probably grow all their own food anyway. But these are banned in about 100 countries. And yet, they're allowed in our country. It's supposedly one of the most advanced countries out there. And yet we have all these chemical additives to our foods that are literally making us sick, causing our systems to shut down. So, here we go. Artificial food dye, made from petroleum, linked to brain cancer, nerve deterioration, and hyperactivity, just to name a few. Olestra, I'm sure you've heard that. Remember it was in potato chips? I think like Lay's potato chips had like Olestra. Prevents our body from its ability to absorb vitamins, causes cramps and leaky bowels. Brominated vegetable oil. Oh, that is in our favorite sports drinks like Gatorade. It's also what's used to prevent carpets from catching on fire. Yay! Let's drink some chemicals that prevent fires. Might as well drink gasoline, right? It has been linked to major organ system damage, birth defect, growth problems, schizophrenia, and hearing loss. Potassium bromate, linked to kidney damage, cancer, and nervous system damage. Azodicarbonamide. It's used to bleach foods. Oh, and to foam plastics. Okay, we should just eat plastic then. It also induces asthma. BHA and BHT. I believe these are, oh yeah, those are waxy preservatives linked to cancer and tumors. And then we have our synthetic growth hormones, our BGH and BST. Those are the things that you see on your meat labels that say no synthetic growth hormones. Well, I hate to tell you, but they're injecting the food that they give to the animals with a bunch of other crap that we don't need, and then the animals eat that food. So it's in the animal regardless of what the label says. They're lying to you. BGH and BST causes infertility, weakened muscle growth, and all kinds of cancers. Diphenhydramine, DIPHENYLAMIN, aka DPA, found in apples, apple juice, applesauce, pears, and baby food. Baby food. Baby food. Well, I don't know if you've looked on the package, on the back of the package of baby formula, but it's disgusting. They actually have 5 fructose corn syrup in there. Look at what they're giving to the babies. And then they're wondering why all these babies and kids have behavioral problems. Because they're feeding them poisonous foods that shut down their neurological blockers. That's why we are having health issues. That's why kids are unhealthier than they've ever been in the history of the United States. Like, is nobody getting suspicious here about why we're so unhealthy? It's in our food, people. It's in our food. This is why I grow majority of my own food, because I don't want to get poisoned by the systems that are supposed to be protecting us. They're not protecting us. They're poisoning us. Okay? They are poisoning us. Look on the labels. They're there. We just don't... there's a saying, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Right? If we don't know what it is, our body's not going to know what it is. We need natural foods. Natural. So, here I want to talk about arson. Oh, and nitrates. According to Science Direct, nitrosomes are strong carcinogens, which are closely related to the carcinogenesis of gastrointestinal cancer. Meanwhile, studies suggest that excessive intake of food containing nitrosames will include esophageal carcinoma. Long-term consumption of foods containing nitrosamines, such as pickles, salted food, bacon, leftover food with high nitrate content, may include gastrointestinal tumors. For this reason, regulatory authorities should strictly control the use of nitrate in food, while individuals should reject eating such high nitrosamine foods. But they put it in there anyway. Why? I don't know. I'm not here to discuss conspiracy. I'm just here to provide you with information. But it's really freaking weird that our food has all these things that shut down our organs, shut down our ability to think, shut down our motivation, shut down our ability to actually be happy. Why are we eating these foods, guys? You know, we need to take personal responsibility for what we put into our mouths. Okay, nobody's forcing this upon us. We need to take that responsibility to take better care of ourselves. Because if we're not putting high frequencies in our bodies, we're not going to have high frequency feelings. Okay, this is all related. Foods, thoughts, environmental toxins. This is all related to the way that we feel. Like, who wants to feel good? Me. It's really not easy to take the care of ourselves that we want to, because we don't have the resources available to us. All the resources that we have to us in these stores are poisoning us. So we have to take it upon ourselves to know how to go outside these resources and find foods that are going to have frequencies that are going to be beneficial for our body and beneficial to our organs. So our body does not break down foreign chemical ingredients. So all these chemical ingredients that you're finding in your foods, they stay trapped in your body. I'm really passionate about foods because I love them. For those just joining, I want to show you our little garden here. We have kale, we have green beans over there, we've got herbs over here, we've got some more stuff over there, we've got blackberries, we have all kinds of food. But as I was stating earlier, even just grow your own herbs. If you grow your own herbs and you sprinkle that on your food, don't cook them. Just have some fresh herbs. Raise the vibrations of your food. If you have to microwave your food, I mean, I don't know. My theory is if you don't have 10 to 15 minutes to make yourself a meal, especially when you're at home, then you need to seriously reconsider where you're putting your time. Because all you can do, you can cook it on the stovetop, right? You can heat something up on the stovetop. And then just add some herbs. Add some herbs and raise the vibration of your foods. Because if you raise the vibration of your foods, then you raise the vibration of what is in your body. And if we raise the vibration of what is in our body, then we raise the vibration of our feelings. So they're all related. Foods are 100% related to moods. So I'm not going to sit here, you know, personally I'm vegan for many reasons, but I don't expect the world to be vegan. It's not realistic. But I do want the world to know that what's happening when you ingest dead foods, you're ingesting a frequency of 0. Okay, it's your choice. Do you want frequencies that are going to help your system run and function properly? Or do you want foods that are going to deplete your system and eventually get you sick and into the other system, into the medical system? Well, I don't know. That's an individual's choice. I'm just here to provide you guys with information. I did a 90-minute Q&A last night, so I apologize. I'm a little I'm a little talked out right now. But I did a Facebook Live last night. I had a Q&A and it went really well. And there's a link on my Facebook page, as well as Let Me Break It Down For You page that you can check out if you missed it yesterday. I also will be editing that down into sections, so I'll have the food sections. I had it recorded professionally, so I'm going to be editing that down. But I really, really, really want you guys to understand how much foods affect our moods. Like, it's the second thing that we have control over. There's 2 things that we have control over as far as the frequencies that we allow to enter our body. Thoughts, which I talked about last week, and foods. So I went over the foods and I went over the frequencies. You guys can take the information and do whatever you choose with it, but I really hope that you make better choices as to how you treat your body, because how you treat your body is how you treat your mind. Your mind is going to be directly affected by the energy and the calories that you allow into your bodies. So just know that if you choose to have a low to no vibrational food, that is going to be the vibration of which you are functioning from. Very low. Whether that means having low energy or having low motivation or having low vibrational thoughts of sadness or fear, all those things. You know, when you eat well and you exercise, I mean, don't you feel more positive? Doesn't, like, you know, the small stuff just not bother you anymore? Why? Well, because your vibration's lifted. So let's keep those vibrations high. Let's keep those vibrations high. Nourish your body with high vibrational foods. Grow those herbs on your windowsill. If you live in an apartment, you can still grow some basil or cilantro or parsley. Sprinkle that on your food every day. Raise that vibration in your foods. Okay? You have those choices. They're not really hard, and they taste really good. So, anyway, I just want to thank you guys. I'm sorry if this was a short holistic happy hour, but I have a lot of information that I had in my Q&A last night, so I'll make that available to you guys very soon. If you want to stay connected, you can fill out my contact form, or you can also get a 30-minute complimentary consult that I'm offering, and that's all available on my website at www.letmebreakitdownforyou.com. So it's the same as the book, Let Me Break It Down For You, which is available on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. Amazon Kindle has a free preview of like the first 5 or 6 pages, so you'll be able to see the table of contents, which has a lot. I have a lot of stuff in this book, and as you can see, foods and moods, right? How we function. I think it's backwards because I have a backwards Facebook Live, account. But all of this information that I'm going over with you guys today is all in my book, and I have all the sources that I found this information from, so you can dig deeper if it's something that interests you. But if you want to stay connected, I'm on Instagram, Let Me Break It Down For You book. I have a Facebook page, Let Me Break It Down For You. Or you can go to my website, letmebreakitdownforyou.com, fill out the contact form, or if you go under services, you will get to my calendar link and you can book your complimentary 30-minute consult. And you can ask me questions about your environment. It doesn't have to be food related. It can be anything relating to energy or frequencies that you feel that you may want some clarity on or assistance with. I just want to let you guys know that I'm always here to support you. I'm always here to help provide the information that I feel will best guide you into living a happier and healthier life, because you deserve it. We all deserve it. We all deserve to know what's in our foods. We deserve to know what in our foods is causing in our body. And if we don't know these things, we can't change them. So I just ask that you keep educating yourself and you keep learning and understanding what you're doing to your body, because that's all you have. We only have one body in this lifetime, and if we want to treat it well, we have to nurture it well and nourish it well. So thank you for joining me for Wellness Wednesday Holistic Happy Hour. I hope you learned some enjoyable information today that will help you thrive and be healthy and happy. And I look forward to next week. Not sure what I'm going to discuss yet, but I'll figure it out by then. In the meantime, if you want to check out the Q&A I did, check out the Facebook Live from last night. It's also posted on my Facebook page. So thank you so much, you guys. Have a rest of your week be wonderful. May your life be wonderful. May your meals be wonderful. And yum. Go eat something healthy. Much love to you. See you next time. Thanks for joining.